Ooh, this episode didn't end so well, but our after show is going to end great. So tune in for our recap of episode 8 right now on AFTERBUZZ TV with Bloodline.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Ooh,
I'm gonna do the Marco face.
Ooh, and I'm gonna make like sounds like that. Ooh, I don't know. It sounds like the song. What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Bloodline After Show here on AFTERBUZZ TV. We are getting ready to kick off episode 8. The season is flying by, which is strange because we're the only people taking it week by week, but still, it's like coming to an end. It's crazy.
For everyone else, it's flown by like months ago.
They watch it in like a day.
Truly, everyone has binged but us. But nonetheless, we are covering episode 8. I am your host, Blake V. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat at Blake V Media. And I'm joined by two lovely ladies today. Allison is missing, but she'll be back with us next week. Ladies, let us know who's here tonight.
Hello, everyone. I am Abby Vega. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at _Abby Vega.
Hey, what's up? It's Angela Struck. You can find me on Twitter at the Angela Struck and on Instagram and Snapchat at Angela Struck.
Yay! Okay. So when this episode ended, I had a very big stomach ache.
Yeah.
It was like, I have to start with this, the interrogation between John and Marco, because it's just like getting so nuts. So we go through this whole emotional roller coaster of Marco just harping on John, just will not let this Danny thing go. And he's really after the whole Rayburn family, but he gets John in his clutches, and he's got him in the room there interrogating him. And for the first time, John's really like, look, man, you need to stop this.
Yeah.
And it was like crazy. What did you guys think while it was all happening?
It's just like this show is like everyone blackmailing everyone at this point. Everyone has a secret that can be exposed, so everyone is using other people's secrets to keep their secrets quiet.
Yes.
It's just nuts all around. And
Yes.
I knew, and I wasn't here last week, but I knew right after she said Alex's name, I knew he was going to dig into that.
I said that over and over again last week.
I knew he was going to dig into that, and that's why he was kind of wondering, and I knew that was because he was harping on it so much, like, what's his name, what's his full name, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just everyone kind of trying to hide their secrets by using other people's secrets.
Yeah. I thought this episode and this scene with John was the first time and Marco was the first time the gloves have come off.
Yes.
You know, it's now dirty, fight to the death. Don't mess with me or I'll mess with you. And I don't think we had really seen that from these characters before. Some of the others, yes, you know, we'd seen people kind of blackmail, but John and Marco are aces, kind of saying, I'll get you if you come for me, and if you come for me, you best not miss, kind of thing. I thought that was really good.
And I thought it was interesting, too, the way that Marco was sitting there digging into John about the John I know would be going after his brother, knowing in his head what he did. So it's like you're not the person who can be questioning someone else's character or what they're doing. And I thought it was funny because at that point, when he was saying all these things and digging into kind of John's character, that he didn't know that John knew the messed up thing that he himself did.
Right.
So I liked that whole
such a mind
part
game.
of it too, because us watching, we knew John knew this at that point. And John was just sitting there and I was just waiting for him to pull it out.
Yeah.
Just waiting.
Yeah, and also I think it shows the state that John is in, the state of desperation, that he was willing to forget about his morals, forget about his principles of not blackmailing and not using the dirt to win the election and all of this stuff. But for this, he'll do whatever it takes to protect his family.
Definitely.
You know, Diana knows it at this point. He's got to get this sorted out.
It's just like
it's so good.
It's so crazy who knows and who doesn't, and just the role that John Rayburn now is living is just changing like minute by minute. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And even in his interactions with Marco, I mean, the one that stands out most to me that happened recently was when John was saying to Marco, like, I'm a good person, right? Like looking to Marco for validation. And now just this relationship has completely flipped on its head. And he's being put in a position now where they're both just pitted against each other. They each know things about each other that that they don't
Could ruin-
themselves know.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I have a question for you guys. So
Yes.
Well, I don't know if you want to say what you picked up, and then I'll go off of that.
Are we talking about Marco's face? The quizzical duck? Is that what we said?
Do the face.
Fans. Does anyone else notice and is as bothered by as we are about Marco's face constantly being like this?
He makes serious duck
He
lips.
makes serious duck lips, and in this interrogation, it was at all other
All-time
level.
high.
Yes.
All-time high. I think that's why I brought it up just today, because
No, she had us in hysterics before the show,
was
making her
great.
duck face look. And he does do it every time he's trying to prove his point.
Yeah.
He'll say something really big and then be like,
He does.
now, my
does.
question is, do you guys feel like he's got some other vengeance cooking
Yes.
or something? It's not like he's just searching to, fight the good fight. I feel like there's something else. And I don't know what it is, if it's Meg and he wants to get back
okay,
at her.
I think this episode, more than anything, showed, I think, that he has more
Ulterior
hatred
motive,
towards
something.
Meg than he had ever put on before. Because John straight up says, he's like, if you can't keep my sister from messing around behind your back, that's your own issue. But I think until now, he kind of played nice with the family, was still part of the family. And I think the fact that Meg lied to him and all this stuff. And meanwhile, he still had this girlfriend, which threw me off. I assumed that they were done. But that's not the case.
Yeah, and I don't know.
Cheater.
I guess Meg was also just really dumb to go do that one night stand in the last episode
I
or
think
whatever
she
it was
did it
with him
to save her ass.
Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah.
I think it made him even more.
Exactly. No, yeah.
It brought up all those old emotions and
Well, and it was interesting how they were playing it, because it was like, okay, they hooked up, so it made you kind of think like, all right, maybe they're getting back on a friendly foot,
Right.
Then Marco just totally like slapped any chance of that away by saying like, hey, I'm still wondering about this stuff. And then to come back at it, Meg was like, yeah, well, it was the guy I cheated on you with. Right?
Yes.
Like to be like, hey, you're not in charge of this
Just snapped
situation.
after you, I got into it.
I know.
Yeah, no.
But it's so true.
Yeah.
And then that's the part that got me, is when Meg told Marco Alex's real name. I was like, what is wrong with you, girl?
Like, that's
I
so
would've made
easy
up
to check
any
in. I
name.
know.
Yeah.
Because I
know.
knew.
Any name.
that's then the perfect alibi then.
Yes.
Why did she have to say that?
And she had so much time to think about it too, because she kept saying, "You don't know him. You don't know him. You don't know
Why
him."
didn't she
See,
even
I
just say
think-
you didn't know? Because I guess if she had said the wrong name, like imaginary name or something, he looked it up, he'd be like, this person doesn't exist because he is doing the detective work.
I think at that
But
point,
just don't say anything.
I think at
Yeah.
that point she truly thought they were maybe having like a moment, like, okay, I owe it to him. At this, I don't think she was thinking about the case at that point. Because, you know what I mean?
She
I
let her
think
guard down.
Yeah,
she
she
had
let
been
her guard
drinking.
down.
She just had sex with him, and I think she thought.
And she's like, I owe it
can
to him.
trust you.
She thought he truly just wanted to know, like, tell me his name, please, And maybe she thought, I owe it to him to just tell, but he uses that. Marco is on my bad list.
Yeah.
He's shifted. I know. Well, and it's just so interesting. I mean, it was time for his character, because now we're seeing like he's just really making it difficult for them to do what they're doing, and he's really putting it to them. And the reason why is very interesting. Like you were saying, I mean, is it aggression and anger towards Meg? Is it really personal?
Is it career based? Maybe he wants
yes.
to, partner with the Geary and try and go up the chain.
Yeah.
Is there something we don't know?
Right.
Yeah.
And we saw a piece of that when we saw Pamela Ortiz, who is Aguirre's ex, call up John, meet up with John, and say like, look, I'm ready to talk now, and this is what happened. This, this happened between Aguirre and Marco, and I'm ready to expose it. I'm ready to tell you what
Yeah.
you need, which was a really big move.
Yeah.
Because now it's like, that lady is going to be a big asset to this whole story.
Yeah.
And John's kind of angle.
And what's interesting too about John, which he's been an amazing character. Also, Kyle Chandler, Emmy nomination. It was very deserved this season. We said that. Him and Ben Mendelsohn both.
Remember, they had thought that they had
Yes.
missed
Yeah.
the deadline, and
But they both get
did
it.
not.
Yes,
The
Jamie McShane
nominations.
thought they
Yes.
may have missed the
But
deadline.
they got
but
it.
didn't.
They both got it, which I think major props to, because like this season, I think more so with John is it's so interesting to me because we've talked about like the good and the bad, and John, like when it comes to Miss Ortiz, he had no part in this. He clearly was not going to use any of this to help himself in the campaign.
Yeah.
But then you see what he did and all the other stuff he's covering up. So it's like I feel like he deep down is this good person who is trying his best to maybe get back on track, but he's just so deep in this hole that there's really no way of erasing it. You know what I mean?
That's what I've always felt about him as a character, is I don't think he wants to be bad. I think he really does think he's acting to help his family. But I wanted to bring up one thing, which I brought up also last week, but you guys weren't here, is remember early on in the season we were saying that the show is so like not black and white, it's very gray, and we said the only good character was Marco. And now we're kind of seeing that he also has some skeletons.
Everybody has their skeletons.
Yeah.
It's almost at this. Sorry. Yeah. Oh, no, I was saying almost at this point when Jamie McShane was here, he was saying, I actually think Eric's a good guy.
Yeah.
Well, he's really proving to be
he wants nothing to do with any of it. He's trying to tell Ozzy to just back off. He's just trying to keep to himself.
He certainly wasn't last season.
No, but but it's like he's kind of the character. He's like, I got into he's the stereotypical got into bad situation. Yeah. It got too far. Yeah. He truly, I don't think, meant harm that was caused by it. Yeah. And now he's just trying to, just keep me out of it.
Yeah.
So I think he's kind of.
I completely agree with that assessment now. And it's funny because, like, just the journey that all these characters take. And speaking of Eric O'Bannon and Ozzy, they have a very interesting little conversation.
Yes.
So Ozzy, I mean, we've been kind of getting to know him, kind of seeing what he's doing here. He's obviously with Eve. He's obviously sort of the dad figure to Nolan in this strange little puzzle. And they are all working together to work over the Rayburn family and see what they can get.
Right.
And he straight up admits it to Eric. He says, my plan is to cash out and get the money and anything else from the Rayburn family and, like, live it up. Yeah. Live the life, right? Because he's really banking on the fact that the Rayburns are going to just pay him off, essentially.
Yeah.
And it was interesting because we knew that was brewing, but the fact that he actually said that was the game plan from the get-go totally just explained it. And we see a lot of really interesting interplay with Nolan throughout the episode, which we'll talk about in a second. But part of that is that at the end, Eve and Nolan go to speak to Mama Rayburn, and her heart is sort of softening. Like they've been together this whole episode, kind of going on a journey, like reliving the past of Danny and stuff like that. And then at the very end of it, Eve goes to have like the sit down to see what's going to happen, what are they going to get out of it. And Sally just says, "Oh, well, you're having hard times. Come stay with me."
Yeah.
So it's like, she's not going to give them anything. She's not going to give them any payout or money, whatever they're looking for. They wanted more than just a roof over their heads. And
I don't know. I think Eve did at first.
Yes.
Okay, 2 points. I think Eve did. I think Nolan actually is really welcoming this idea of family and a community. And, we see him very kind of sentimental, I thought, about the Rayburn Inn sign, the first one that was in the house and everything. I think he had been craving that. In the flashbacks, I think we also saw he's a really soft soul who had been really abused emotionally by his family, his parents and their volatile nature. So I think he actually is really welcoming that. I think that she, her initial, her guard is up. She's kind of hurt by the whole situation. As we saw, Robert was involved. He kind of had told them no in the past and whatever. So I think her guard is up, but I think she's going to welcome this. And I think she's going to see this as, oh, wow, they really are accepting me. They're not trying to give me this, halfway kind of help, halfway kind of, but you're not welcome here. I mean, they're really taking her and him in. And I also kind of, I was putting myself in Sally's shoes, and that's what I would have done. Because I think when you're dealing with people like that, you know, you're not too sure what their motives are, the best way is, well, this is my compromise. You know, I'm not going to write you a blank check, but I will open my doors to you because this is my grandson and this is the mother of, you know, what baby daddy of my dead son. So.
And I feel like I really liked the flashbacks we saw this week because you do see that softer side of Nolan, and you see that he truly, really wanted a relationship with Danny. So that's why I agree with that I think is going to be very open to this idea of finally having this family. And I think that Eve is going to do it too. Because I don't know what episode it was a couple episodes back, her and Ozzy had this thing, and she like called them her family or something, and he got pissed. So I think it's going to be a big issue with him, and I think he's going to kind of go off the rails a little bit, because I think he's going to see Eve and Nolan kind of opening up to this family.
And it's a weird dynamic with Ozzy and Eve too.
Yes.
And especially the thing that keeps getting me is we saw the deposit amounts from the dad to Eve's account, and it was like $5,000 a month or something like that. And I think it was monthly payments. I feel like that's what we saw.
Yeah.
So if she was getting $5,000 a month,
significant.
that is a lot of money, especially in Florida.
Oh my gosh.
Like you're living
you could be
real
living
good.
really well.
Totally.
And just her and Nolan.
I mean, rent, utilities, food, everything you could need.
I guess the key, though, is if you're a responsible person. I mean, I think she was running up a bunch of bar tabs and everything else.
The thing is, I think there's a lot more backstory to her.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Definitely.
and what she really was doing to misuse all of that money and put herself in this position, and what role Ozzy plays into it. Because, I have thoughts of like maybe Ozzy seeing this free ride, and maybe he tapped into Eve and was promising her, like, I don't know what, stardom. She's going to be a singer. Let's record your next album or whatever. Meanwhile, he's taking all her money from the payments.
100%.
And it's sort of like this weird relationship where they're sort of like beholding to each other.
Right.
It's strange.
It is.
I definitely think you were spot on. I have a feeling because the writers kind of alluded to that with like, oh, I'm going to, he wasn't saying like, I'm going to take that money and run strip clubs. He was like, I'm going to take it and put it into studio
and she's
time.
Not going to want to go with him.
I think he also, I remember the quote was like, I'm going to run the Rayburns into the ground. So it's a personal vengeance at this point.
Yeah.
So I think the fact that Eve is potentially going to run off with them.
Yeah, because at this point...
Scary what he's going to do.
Yeah, because at this point it seems that Ozzy, the only thing that he really has is Eve, and Nolan. And I totally think it's going to be a big issue, and I think he's going to be so mad when they don't even care about the money anymore. At this point, they're just going to found like a home and a house to, I don't know. But then a side note too, this has to do with Ozzy and his conversation with Eric. Did you guys not think that Eric was about to bash his head in with the rock he picked up?
Oh, I did.
Did you not pick up on that?
I don't think I did.
No, I kind of thought that there would be something. I think there were maybe kind of suggested maybe.
Do you remember him though? He picked up this huge rock and was hiding it behind his back.
I did.
For some reason, I didn't get that vibe though.
Well, I think
I was like, why did he pick up this rock?
Protective.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I didn't think that he was going to hit him necessarily as much as I think Eric's character. Eric does not trust Ozzy at all,
yeah.
so he's like, I just got to be, this guy's crazy. I think he's like, this guy's, I don't want to be associated.
Self-defense more than like proactive hurt.
I was so on edge. I didn't know, because at that point I was like, why is he feeling threatened by Ozzy right now? Because Ozzy seemed to be, Ozzy was definitely on one. Like he was going on like almost like happy rant.
He was on one.
Yeah, but it was just really weird. It didn't seem threatening at all. That's why I was confused when Eric picked it up. I go, is Eric about to do something to him? I was a little confused, and then nothing happened, but I was like, that seems significant.
It's those bloodline setups.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
They get us thinking.
Like, it almost makes me think that there's a foreshadow to some big thing with them maybe about to happen.
Yep.
Yeah, and sort of more on Ozzy's behavior. I mean, he is really making his presence known. And against Eve's wishes. Like, she just says, stay out of it. Let me deal with this. Keep yourself away. I don't even think he was supposed to come down to that area.
And that's what makes me think that she's going to be receptive because I think she doesn't want him to screw this up for her.
And he's already like doing a number on it because he keeps
now
showing
with
up
Meg.
to John and Meg. And so he keeps telling Meg, I'm gonna expose you. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. Red Reef, yes. And she goes to the campaign guy, and the campaign guy, like, politics are so silly. Gilbert, that's his name. I've never.
I don't know his name.
Could never get the name. Campaign guy is Gilbert. So it's like politics are so crazy, and it's really funny to me because it's very timely with our nation's, you know, politics as such happening currently. So we see this on a small scale in Bloodline, and this campaign guy Gilbert is like, don't worry about it. This guy's essentially just like a gnat flying around bothering you. Like, these are, you know, dime a dozen. Like, it happens. Just, you know, pay him off and it's fine. So then Meg goes, okay, like, I'll try to pay this guy off. So it's just like feeding into this like money monster of like just what he wants.
That's my problem. Like, okay, you pay somebody off, they'll just come back and be like, I still have the secret. Like,
it doesn't do anything.
It's
like a temporary solution. For a big
day.
problem.
Right.
I mean, it just doesn't make any sense to me. So,
because it's like, what happens if they come back saying, I want more money? Like, and then you tell, like, you have no defense at all. It's like, oh, I paid them, they weren't supposed to come back.
And
but it's
actually,
like,
too, then that's bribing somebody, so that's illegal. So then they have on you not only their secret, but that you gave them a check.
It's just all
the
bad.
whole thing.
I was kind of like,
and like, what's your limit? Like, what if they come back and say like $10 million by tomorrow? Okay, well, even if you have it, what are you gonna really give it to them? Like, the whole thing.
Dumb.
So, and then that's weird too because like Meg is smart. Meg has been at the forefront. Well, true, because she's been at the forefront of a lot of these maneuvers, like legally, financially, you know, whatever else. And now that she's the campaign manager for John, she's really at the helm of making a lot of these like strategic decisions for him. So for her to take the advice of Gilbert and just be like, oh yeah, pay him off, it's all good. It's like, he'll be gone, no big deal. What do we think about that? Like, do we think that this is just the beginning of a bigger snowball of what she's just started?
In my opinion, is up to no good. There's something else going on there. I don't know what it is yet. I don't know what he's tied to or what he's going to want John then to do. But I feel like he's leading her the wrong way, in my opinion. And I also just don't think that anybody just does, you know, like, oh, he's just coming in financing the whole campaign. Why?
Yeah.
Who is this person? Like, I don't know. I just have a feeling that, like, what is he going to expect in return? And, like, why is that his first impulse? You know, if he was just this upstanding guy, wouldn't he just be like, don't worry about him, we trust John? Like, and John has a lot of issues currently with the brother and everything. Why would he want to back this person?
That's interesting. I never got a bad vibe from him.
So...
And why is he wanting to now invest in Kevin?
Yeah, that's weird.
Like, that's what I mean. It was just like, anybody that was like, you know what, maybe that's a little too close for comfort at this point. Let me just stick to the campaign. Why is he now, like...
financing the family.
Yeah. I feel like there's something going on.
Yes. So let's talk about Kevin for a second. Because, okay, so Kevin has had us all anxiety ridden for many episodes. This happens, and essentially the first intro that we see to him are the bank people coming to repossess essentially everything in his boatyard. And we know how much this boatyard means to him. This is just like so important, and it's so heartbreaking that this is all happening. But it's like, what can he do? He has no money. He's just like really in a bad way, which is all very interesting to me still, that his family can't give him any money. I'm still very confused. They've got $5,000 a month to give to Eve on the down low, but no one can help Kevin. Like, I don't understand.
Well, we found out though that Kevin's dad fronted him all the money to get the marina. So it's like, at some point, it's like your kids got to grow up. Like, we gave you all the money to start this marina. It's like, from there,
you just keep putting money into a sinking ship. I guess would be their opinion.
Literally. A sinking boatyard. So he's just really on the down and out, and so the repossessors come, and it's all very sad. So then he gets the bright idea to really get his shit together, put together a business plan, and go back and see that guy. And that guy, I wrote down his name.
I think his name is Garrett. I wrote down the names.
I don't have that name written down.
Burnett. Mr. Burnett.
Burnett.
Oh, Burnett.
Kevin should not be trying to do business meetings. After I saw that first business meeting on that yacht, I'm like, you have no right to be going into this man's office trying to strike a business plan.
It didn't go well. It didn't go well. But nonetheless, he did. And he was very persistent. And he said, nope. I'm staying here till I get FaceTime with him. He got the FaceTime. The guy agreed to sit with him. Cool, good. Like, this is all good. They sit down, and the guy immediately said, okay, this looks promising. You know, we can figure something out. Kevin says, great, so we'll be partners. And the second he said that, in my mind, I thought, no, man, like, he's going to want to buy you outright. And then the next word out of Burnett's mouth were, no, man, I'm going to buy you outright.
Which is,
obviously.
Yeah, but yes, but this is why I'm saying I think Gilbert's up to no good. Because why, you know, any normal person would not want this guy as the partner necessarily.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know.
And
I just feel like...
And that was interesting to me, too, because he flat out to Mr. Burnett said, oh, no, I can't sell it to you. I have to be the partner. Like, this deal's off the table now because I can't sell it to you.
Yeah.
Okay, so later he kind of thought about it and, like, regretted it a little bit because he was like, well, man, like, I really needed that money.
Yeah.
So then Meg intervenes at that point, I think, right?
Yeah.
Goes to Gilbert and says, like, it's really bad. He's got to get this situation under control. And then Gilbert goes to help him. But so Gilbert now is agreeing to partner with him. You're right.
Yeah.
And
and we all sense.
Did Gilbert agree to it? Yeah, I thought he was just going to meet with him.
Buy it out?
Oh, I thought he was just getting ready to meet with him.
I think he's just getting ready to meet with him.
So they haven't even met yet.
So I wonder now if, because Gilbert said something like, we'll come up with some terms that we agree on, or I don't know, something like that. So it makes me wonder, like, is he now deciding to sell it?
Maybe,
completely?
but I guess because it says investor, maybe I was thinking that they're working together or something. You know what I mean? That it would still be under Kevin's management.
And on a side note with Kevin, and while we're talking about this, this was the first episode that I truly thought, wow, Kevin actually might be headed towards getting better. I feel like I like that last episode, or one of the last episodes, he actually went over to that guy's help when he needed help, and I like that conversation he had with Belle, and I love how Belle has been so understanding with him. Yeah. Like, God bless her soul, because she was.
What choice?
I don't know. I just like really hope.
I don't know.
I don't know. I hope that Kevin. I feel like a lot of the stress that his family puts on him is just so bad for him. And this was the first episode, maybe a little in the beginning when Meg's talking to him about John being at the Red Reef. He was like a little stressed. But for the rest of this episode, he seemed to genuinely be like, he was stressed about like his boatyard and stuff, but not that crazy hectic, I need to drink alcohol right now. I need to
a neurotic mess.
Yes.
And did it seem out of character?
Yes.
It's like, it seemed like it wasn't even the same Kevin.
I know.
Because he was so good, and he got the business plan together. I'm like, you've got a business plan together?
He did a good job. I mean,
he did a great job.
That's why I'm saying I think he's truly getting better, and I hope that for him, because he stresses me out.
He stresses me out too. Yeah, this is an interesting turn of events. It was very out of character, but he did do a good job. So this Gilbert is going to be very instrumental, I think. It's remains a lot to be seen.
That's what I mean, too instrumental. I feel like he's going to try and get all this power over them.
I could see that.
I don't know.
I think we're onto something.
I could see it, like, if John gets elected,
I don't know what it would be. Like, maybe he's just going to want to rule John. You know, I don't know.
Just be like, what if he has, like, old bad blood with the Rayburns?
I was thinking that, or if he has some really, like, bad thing with the current or I don't know.
Aguirre.
Yeah, just like
something.
And Aguirre's having him get involved.
Or maybe, because I could totally see it be a total turn of events where John.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Where, like, he kind of gets John and then does this whole flip where he does, I don't know, where he's like, well, now you owe me. I don't know.
I know.
That's
now I'm all frazzled because it's just
going on there.
It's like so much to handle. Okay, I think that we need to spend the last few minutes of time here on Nolan.
Yes.
Because
and Sally. Bonnie and Clyde.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, they had they were very integral to this episode, and they had a lot of bonding time.
Yeah.
And Sally is really accepting Nolan and really saying, like, let me come into your world. Like, show me your world and show me, like, what Danny was to you and what your life is. And I mean, we saw like all kinds of stuff. They went to the restaurants.
Yeah, and when Nolan said, "I don't know what happened," I'm like, "You burned it down." I just knew it.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know.
That was so clear, but
Totally, it was. But he's got these memories of being in the restaurant with Danny, and he went to show the restaurant.
Yeah.
We even have the flashback to Nolan walking up on Danny making the drug deal. Which was so sad because it's like that was a real source of hurt for Nolan. And you can see
the prison
just
visit.
Yeah, I felt so sad for
Devastating.
Nolan in this because obviously the way you see him now, he's has a hard exterior and is like kind of broken. And you look back and he truly just got put in he's just a kid in a bad situation.
Yeah, victim to his
exactly.
upbringing.
It's totally that because you could tell even in the flashbacks that there was still kind of that hope. He was still kind of reaching for it and hoping he could get that family thing. And then that's why I think he's been so dark these first couple episodes, and I hope we see kind of him let that guard down a little now that Sally's opening up to him, because I love those flashbacks and seeing that he truly does have that soft, you know, he is emotional. He does want to have like a family and be accepted.
Yeah.
True, totally true. And another heartbreaking moment was when Sally looks at the pictures.
And saw that Robert
was a you know what. He was up to a lot of shady stuff. Like
He was a you know what.
I feel so bad for Sally because that's got to be such a hard thing, like losing your husband and then finding out all these secrets that he had.
Because
it's like
a lot.
You know what I
Getting
mean? It's like
stabbed in the heart.
was this a lie? Like what is this? And I feel so bad for her. She's been through it all.
Totally.
Yeah.
And then she gets that picture with Eve and Nolan when he's a baby. And Nolan has that awful story about how
Father's Day,
and Danny was he was so excited to go eat at this really nice restaurant in the Bayfront, and Eve saved up, but they never got a chance to go because they fought and kicked him out, and like that was just a tiny piece of the turbulent puzzle and his volatile upbringing, you know?
His tapestry. I thought I really kind of loved Sally this episode.
Me too.
Because I liked how she was listening and really hearing it all, but not just, oh, baby, I'm so sorry that you were... Like, she kind of, like, just took it all in, but also is keeping a guard up. Because I think she knows, like, I don't know who these people are exactly. Like, she wasn't just, like, drinking it up. She was listening, and then she showed a lot of compassion. And I think we saw that by her offer to them at the end. I mean, there's nothing more precious to her than her inn. So the fact that she's willing to let them live there is a huge step for her. So I really liked her. I thought, like, I saw that she was a little deeper and a little more switched on than I had previously thought.
So how about the jail flashback that we saw? Because we see Danny in jail. Nolan comes to visit. What was Danny in jail for?
The drug.
I think selling
The drugs?
drugs,
Okay,
right?
so it was the drugs. Nolan comes in, and that was the roughest scene.
That was really sad. And who do you feel worse for? Because the dad, I felt like Danny was pushing him away because he was like, I'm only gonna hurt you. Like, you're only gonna be hurt by my family, and like, just stop it. And I felt like he like left that and then cried. You know what I mean? And then here Nolan was so hurt by his harsh words. It was very sad.
Yeah, because I totally felt that way about Danny too. I felt like he was just saying it, trying to do what was best for Nolan, and I think, like you said, he probably left and was super upset. That's how I took it too. I didn't take it as Danny being cold and awful. I took it as he knows that he's doing bad stuff, and there's just no good to come of it from Nolan. He knows what his family did to him, so he just doesn't want him hurt, and that's kind of how I took it. But that was heartbreaking seeing Nolan.
So heartbreaking.
I was like, man, this kid.
And he just
Can't
was
catch a
like
break.
such a tender little nugget.
I know.
Yes.
And Danny was just like, you're an embarrassment.
What's interesting though is it's so weird how similar Danny and Nolan, the parallels between them, like, and even though they have different family situations, it's kind of the same thing.
That's so good. You know what I just realized? Because Danny's father, Robert, used physical abuse. And
It's
that
just
damaged him, and I
interesting.
feel like Danny, you know, was so close with his sister and probably very sensitive and sweet, just like Nolan. And here Nolan is experiencing verbal abuse.
Yep.
And that
Totally.
really changed him.
And the cycle
Yeah.
continues.
No, yeah, that's what
That's
I'm
a
saying.
great
It's like
point.
they seem very similar to me, and we always
Yeah.
said that when he came up and was like being kind of, we're like, he is so Danny, like the way he handles
Yeah.
situations and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But Danny, like I think we've said before, you could tell there was feelings in there. He was truly hurt by what his family did, and it's just like an exterior thing. And I just think the same exact thing with Nolan. I think he's putting
Yeah.
up a front because he doesn't want to get hurt again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think they're very much alike.
Interesting.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
And I like it.
I like it too.
Oh my God, what an episode.
What
an
an
episode.
episode.
Very good.
Okay, so we left on this very stressful moment that gave me a stomachache with the interrogation between John and Marco. Let's do some predictions
Yay!
for next week.
And now, your AfterBuzz
I'm
TV.
singing again. I came into the episode making strange noises,
It's okay.
and I'm making them now. Okay, so episode 9. What do we think is going to happen? Okay, so something has to happen to Marco because this isn't going to work.
No.
It's not going to work. And he's pushed John to a level where it's like the point of no return. It's like how I don't think Marco's going to be able to back down from this.
I don't think so either.
No, and I'm also curious to what effect it's gonna have that Nolan was the one who burnt down the restaurant, because that was like a big thing I thought about, like how Danny burnt down his restaurant.
Right.
And I'm wondering, I feel like they wouldn't have included that whole storyline for no reason.
Right. And you guys were saying that you felt like Danny was saying those mean things to Nolan because he didn't want any hurt to come
Yeah.
from him.
Yeah.
I almost felt like maybe Danny was in jail for the drugs, but then Nolan burnt down his restaurant for some other reason or while he was in jail.
Yeah.
And Danny really was mad at him, calling him an
No,
embarrassment.
but that
Get away
didn't.
from
But
me.
it didn't happen till after.
Yeah, he burned
didn't?
it
He
burned it down after that because he was mad.
He was upset.
He was
by
upset,
the
so that he
conversation.
went. He was upset by the conversation, so he went and burnt down the restaurant.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
what it
yeah,
was,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
But I
Okay.
don't know if that's why they included it, because that they show like the falling out. Maybe that's just the reason why. But I totally think that the whole interaction between Ozzy and Eric was kind of a foreshadowing thing. I think that Eric is actually going to end up maybe helping the Rayburns, which I would have never thought.
I could see that.
But
too.
I think that
Totally.
he has this really weird thing against Ozzy right now. And
Yeah.
I think he's
Ozzy's
scared of Ozzy.
yeah, because Ozzy is just he's a loose cannon. Like
Yes.
he's about to go off, and I truly think that there'll be some big altercation. I don't know.
My prediction is Eve is going to move in with the Rayburns and start to say, gosh, they're not that bad.
Yeah.
And really enjoy her life there. And when Ozzy comes creeping up trying to get cash from everybody or whatever he wants to do and get her to come with, I think
then
that
something
I
bad's
think
gonna
that
happen to
then-
Ozzy. I
Yeah.
wanna say
Well, I think that Ozzy's going to go crazy
Yeah.
and maybe do something crazy to the Rayburns, like kill
I can see
somebody,
that.
or I don't know.
I have to say something too that's very interesting, because we're talking about how Ozzy's interrogating John, but he's totally off on what he thinks.
Marco.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's what I'm
yeah.
saying. Like, not one suspicion has ever been like, you killed him. And that's very interesting to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he thinks he's on to something, like, you
But-
covered all this stuff up, but he not once
No.
is accusing John. So I'm
He's
curious
still-
if something's going to come up, if John's ever, or any of the family is ever even going to be considered a suspect.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's why that was interesting what you were saying. Like, I don't think he can back down, Marco, at this point. I think knowing him, I think he's going to be like, bring it about the Gary stuff. Like, bring it.
Yeah.
Because I think you're in on a murder conspiracy
that.
cover up. So, yeah, he's going to do that face.
He'll
when
do,
he-
it's going to be a lot of face in the next
Lots of
episode.
duck face the next 2
He's
episodes.
going to do that,
Lots
but
of it.
I don't know. It's interesting that he obviously still has some respect for John, because he has not thought at all that he killed Danny.
Whatever little bit is left is
Yeah.
fading away.
It's
It's fading
fading.
fast.
It's fading.
I think Ozzy's gonna go for not John or Kevin or Meg directly. I think maybe the family members.
That's what I'm thinking. Like,
Yeah.
maybe even Sally. I could see that.
Sally or Diana. I don't know
Yeah.
why I'm thinking Diana knows too
Diana.
much
To get-
now.
to
I
get
think that's
John.
something bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
And she's like just a little sitting duck on the outskirts of
she
it.
totally is. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited because I'm not going to be here next week, so I can totally finish.
Oh, girl.
Oh, God.
Oh man.
Just thought
okay.
about that.
So while things are good for Abby and the rest of you all out there who've probably finished this, Angela, myself, and Allison will be back next week covering episode 9 because we can't finish it yet.
Continuing the torture.
But that's okay. We're still super excited
so
for the next
great.
episode. Thank you guys so much for tuning into our recap of episode 8. This was fantastic. I've been your host, Blake V. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat at Blake V Media.
I'm Abby Vega. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at _Abby Vega.
And I'm Angela Struck, and you can find me on Twitter at the Angela Struck and on Instagram and Snapchat at Angela Struck.
See you guys next week for episode 9.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.